and read the waiver. And at the end of class, I'll stop the recording. And if you want to stay and talk to me, I'd love to talk to you. In order to make these classes as freely accessible to our participants, we'll be using a verbal warning and assumption of risk at the beginning of class. Participation in this online class is voluntary. Physical activity programs may result in injury, and by participating, you assume the risk of injury that may result from your participation. We strongly recommend that you participate from a space that is suitable for this activity. For example, make sure that you've moved nearby furniture and other potential hazards. If you're participating in a yoga class or class that involves lying on the ground, we recommend using a mat, or if you don't have one, a carpeted area. Participants are encouraged to stop if they experience pain or injury and should seek appropriate medical advice and care as needed. William Mary Health and Wellness strongly recommends that each participant have an annual physical examination and follow the healthcare advice of your provider before participating. Okay, we're going to go ahead and get started in child's pose. So I'm going to move my computer so you can see my mat. I have the chat open on the side, so if at any point throughout class you can't hear me, please tell me and I'll try to fix it. Just bringing those big toes together, knees wide, melting your chest down towards your mat. Coming into your breath here. Pressing your hips further back towards your heels. Spreading your fingertips wide. Pressing especially into your pointer finger and your thumb. Really letting your shoulders and your neck release here. Rolling those shoulders away from your ears. Let's take 2 more breaths here. Deep breath in. Exhale it all out. From here, we're going to come forward to swan. So leaving your hands and your knees where they are, just come forward and bring your feet up behind you. They don't have to come very close to you. Just gentle stretch for your hip flexors and your back. And then coming back to child's pose. You don't have to come very deep into that pose, just starting to warm up. Inhale forward to swan. Good, exhale back. We're going to do that one more time. Inhale. Really rolling your shoulders back. And exhale back to child's pose. On your next inhale, coming up to tabletop, and we're going to go right into happy puppy, bringing our hands forward, leaving our hips and our knees exactly where they are, just releasing your forehead down to the mat, stretching out your back and your shoulders here. Feeling that breath in your belly. Feeling it expand and contract with every inhale and every exhale. Then starting to walk those hands back up to center. We're going to do the same little core engagement activity thing that we did last week. So really pressing into your hands, making sure that when you look back in between your thighs, you can't see your feet. And then we're going to start to drop our belly towards the ground and then use your lower core to pull your back up to completely flat, like you're balancing some books on your back. Letting your belly go towards the ground, arching your back, then coming back up to that straight spine, really pulling in with your lower core. Let's do 2 more of those. It's really important to engage our core before we start moving. Last time. Good, keep that core engagement. Start to extend your right arm and your left leg. Good, tapping your fingers and toes down, coming up to center, and then bring your hand and your leg out to like a diagonal line. Good, coming back to center, tap fingers and toes, inhale up, exhale out. Keep going like that at your own pace. Starting to warm up our shoulders, our core, our glute muscles, and our hamstrings. Let's take 1 more. Releasing that hand and knee down. We're going to go straight to the other side. So left arm, right leg. Keep that core engagement. Start to tap your fingers and toes. Inhale up. Exhale, diagonal line, really engaging your obliques. Back to center, tapping down. Inhale up. Exhale over. Good. Keep going like this for 3 more. Last 2. Last 1. Replacing that hand and knee down. Coming into some cat-cows. Dropping your belly towards the ground, rolling your shoulders back, looking up towards the sky. Exhale to cat, looking towards your thighs, really rounding your back. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. 2 more. Inhale. And exhale. Good. Last time into cow. Really broaden your collarbones here. And exhale into cat. Coming back to that neutral spine, cross your ankles and roll back to a seat. We're going to stretch out our neck and our wrists here. Really rolling those shoulders back, sitting up nice and tall. Bring your right ear to your right shoulder. Coming back up to center, bring your left ear to your left shoulder. Inhale, center. Exhale to the right. Good. Inhale, center. Exhale to the left. Coming back up to center and then looking down towards your lap. Gently interlace your fingers and put them on the back of your head. Don't really pull on your head, just put a tiny bit of weight. And then inhale, open your elbows out to the sides, looking up towards the sky. Exhale, curl into that little ball, pulling on your head a tiny bit. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. Let's do that 2 more times. Inhale. And exhale. Last time, inhale up. Exhale down. Good, releasing that, coming back to your neutral spine, taking some shoulder rolls towards the front of the room. And then towards the back. And then taking some wrist circles towards one side. Then switching directions. And then placing your hands down in front of you with your fingers facing your body and your palms are down on the ground. Stretching out our forearms here. You can kind of rock side to side a little bit. You can also rock forward and back. Then flipping your hands over so your fingertips are still facing your body, but this time your palms are up towards the sky. You can again rock side to side. Really important to warm up your wrists. Wrist injuries are super common in yoga. Good. And then shaking out your wrists here. And then start to bring your hands into little fists and then extend your fingers as wide as they can go. But little fist, extend, and keep doing that. This helps strengthen the muscles in your forearm and wrist, preventing injuries. Now start bringing your thumb inside of the fist and then keep doing the same thing. Okay, and then releasing your hands back down. Inhale your arms out and up. Exhale through heart center and down. One more time. Inhale up. Exhale down. Good. This time we're going to inhale and stay up. Then tip over to one side, stretching your side body out here, really opening up towards the sky. Inhaling up to center. Exhale to the other side, making sure both hips stay down. Your top arm is very extended. You're like shooting energy out of that hand. Coming back up to center, twist towards either side. Bring your hand across your thigh. Coming back up to center, twist towards the other side. Coming back up to center. Last thing here, we're gonna fold forward over our legs, just rocking side to side, gently opening up our lower back and our hips. And then walking our hands back into center, we're gonna come back to tabletop and then press back to downward facing dog, pedaling out your feet here. Just warming up your body however feels good to you. You can move your hips from side to side. Inhale up onto your tippy toes and exhale your heels down. Good, inhale up, exhale heels down. Last time, inhale and exhale. This time rolling forward to plank and then pressing back to downward facing dog. Keep doing that. Inhale forward and exhale back, warming up your spine and your core. Keep going. Just 2 more of these. This also warms up your shoulders. Last time forward and last time back. Looking forward towards your hands. Start to walk up to that forward fold. Just hanging out here, bending your knees, maybe grabbing onto opposite elbows, rocking side to side. You can nod your head yes and no. Then starting to release your hands down. Inhale, halfway lift and lengthen your spine. Exhale, forward fold. 1 vertebrae at a time, coming up to standing. Inhale your arms up. Exhale to heart center and down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, stepping back to plank, holding here. And then bringing our knees to the ground. And then slowly lower your body all the way to the ground with your elbows hugging towards your body. Inhale to baby cobra, just lifting your chest off the ground, rolling your shoulders back. Exhale, lower down. Inhale to cobra, so there's still a little bend in your elbows, but you're really pressing yourself up. And then exhale down. Last time, coming up to either that cobra or upward facing dog. And then exhale back to downward facing dog. Pedaling out your feet again here. Then coming down to a tabletop, making sure you have that good form. You can always bring your hands to gorilla fists like this, or you can also come down onto your forearms for any of the next exercises. So we're going to start to extend our right leg back. You're going to tap your leg down and inhale it up. Trying to keep your back from arching too much. Of course, it's going to move a little bit, but trying to keep your core stabilizing your whole body. Let's take 3 more of these. Hold it up on the last one and then start curling your knee into your chest, and you're going to extend it back and out. Good, really curl it in, arch your back, and bring it back. This is working your core and your glutes and your hamstring. Let's take 1 more. Hold it at the top, bend your knee, and keep pulsing. Pulse that foot up toward the sky. You can either point or flex your foot, just keeping it engaged either way. Let's take 3 more pulses here. And then relaxing that leg back down. We're going to start to open into a fire hydrant. Close your knee, kick it back for a donkey kick, then bring it down. Good, so open fire hydrant, down, back for donkey kick. Remembering that you can change how your hands are, making sure that your wrists are comfortable. You might feel this also on the opposite leg, so your left leg. I kind of feel it more on like the stabilizing leg than the leg that's actually moving. Let's take one more. Then releasing that leg down, we're going to move into the other side. Just taking one round of cat-cow here. I'm going to decline these people from the waiting room. I feel so bad. Okay. Coming into the other side. So that left leg comes back. Tap your toe down. Inhale it up. Good. Keep going like that. Giving this side just as much attention as we gave the other side. Making sure that that back leg stays nice and strong and straight. Let's take 3 more of these. Last 2. Last 1. Then start crunching your knee into your chest, and then extend it back. Good. Keep going. Really pulling your core up and in when you crunch your leg in. Last 2. Last 1. Leave that leg extended. Bend your knee. Pulse up towards the ceiling. Really trying to engage that core, keeping your spine neutral. Let's do 2 more pulses, and then release that leg down to meet your other leg. Open to the side for a fire hydrant. Bring your knee back down, then kick back for a donkey kick. Good. Keep going like that. Last exercise, and then we'll stretch out our legs. We're going to get a really nice leg stretch today. Let's take 3 more. Last 2. Last 1. Good, you guys are doing great. Then coming back to a child's pose with your knees together, your feet together, and your arms behind you. You can rock side to side, releasing your lower back and your hips here. Then coming up to center, coming back to tabletop, and then pressing back to downward facing dog. Stepping that right foot forward in between your hands, lowering that back left knee down onto the ground, coming into low lunge. Stretching out our hip flexors here. They can get tight by those movements where we have to lift our legs up. Your hip flexors also get tight from literally anything, if you sit for too long or if you walk a lot. So they're a really good thing to stretch. Then coming back to half split, straightening that front leg, flexing your front foot. Good, coming forward to that low lunge on an inhale, and exhale back to that half splits. Good, inhale forward, exhale back. Last time, inhale. Exhale, pausing here. Keep flexing your front foot, and then just tilt your toes over towards one side of the room. Bring them back up to center, and then tilt to the other side. You have 3 muscles in your hamstring, so we're getting into all 3 of them here. Coming back up to center, and then come back to that low lunge, planting your left hand down, inhale your right arm up for a twist. Releasing that hand down to the ground, tuck your back toes under, step back to plank, and press back to downward facing dog. Stepping that left foot forward this time, bringing your right knee down to the ground for low lunge. Trying to really broaden your collarbones and roll your shoulders back. Keep hugging that left knee in. Make sure it's not going out to the side. Pausing here for one more breath in. Exhale back, half splits. Straightening that front leg, making sure that your back hip is pretty much right over your back knee. You can kind of move around a little bit, feeling where that stretch feels the best for you. Inhale forward to low lunge, and exhale back to half splits. We're gonna do that 2 more times. Inhale, and exhale. Last time, inhale forward, and exhale back, pausing here. Keep flexing that front foot, tilt your toes towards one side of the room. Coming back up to center, tilt your toes towards the other side of the room. Come back up to center, and then back to low lunge, planting that right hand down. Inhale your left arm up. Bring that left hand down, tuck your toes under, step back to plank. Hold here, and then just tilt your feet over towards the side for side plank. Doesn't matter which side you do, we're doing the other side in a second. Coming back to center, going to side plank on the other side. Coming back up to center, press back to downward facing dog. Then come down to tabletop, and we're going to lie down on our side to get into our inner thighs and our hips. So we're going to start with working our outer hip on that top leg. So you can have your knees bent, you can kind of just hold your head in your hand, or you can lie all the way down, completely chilling here while you work out. So first we're going to lift that top leg up so that it's completely parallel to your bottom leg, then lower it down almost to touching, then come back up. This is really good for that outer hip area. Keep rolling your shoulders back, making sure that your upper body is not doing any of the work here. It's just your leg working. Let's do 2 more of these. Good, and then this time we're gonna lift our leg up, and this looks a little weird, but you're gonna like flick your foot up so that your knee comes a little down and your foot goes up, and then you're gonna lower your leg down. So it's the same thing, just with the little flick at the top, and that really gets more into your outer hip. Let's do 3 more of these. Last one. Good, okay. Now we're just gonna lift that top leg up and down to a hover. Last exercise on this leg. Your hip should be burning. Of course, if it's hurting, stop, but burning is good. Let's take 3 more. Last 2. Last one, stepping that top foot down in front of us. You can hold on to your foot with your hand if you would like, or just have it sitting there. Then your bottom leg extends nice and strong. Lift it up and down to a hover. Concentrating on that inner thigh. Really engaging your core here, so it's almost like your obliques are helping to lift your leg up. Pausing at the top, start to pulse that leg. Then release that leg down. We're going to move into the other side, flipping around on your mat, bending your knees, and then just lift that top leg up parallel to your bottom leg and lower it down. Trying to make sure your hips are stacked on top of each other and that when you lift up, you're not also lifting back. Let's take 3 more. Last 2. Last 1. Take a little break, and then we're going to go into that same thing with the like foot flick things. So flicking your foot up, then coming back down. Good, lift it up, lift your foot a little higher, then come back down. Good, let's take 2 more. Last 1. Releasing that, extend that top leg out. Then it's going to lift it up, down to a hover. I'm really feeling that burn. I hope you guys are too. Let's take 3 more. Last 2. Last 1. Good. Step that foot in front of you. Hold on to it if you would like. That bottom leg is super nice and strong. Lift it up and lower down to a hover. You guys are doing great. Keep going for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold at the top and pulse. This is the last exercise on this leg, and then we're going to stretch our legs out. Keep pulsing for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Releasing down, sit up on your mat. You can just sit crisscross applesauce, or you can bring like your shins stacked on top of each other. So your heel and your knees are in line with each other. Sitting up nice and tall. This is a really good stretch for your outer hips. It's called fire log pose. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Either stay here or on an exhale, fold forward, getting deeper into your outer hips. Taking one more deep breath in here. Exhale it all out. Coming back up to center. You can stay in crisscross applesauce, you can stay here, or you can start to really cross your knees on top of each other, bringing your heels close in towards your hips, lengthening your spine, either staying here or folding down over those legs. Doing lots of stretching in our hips and our legs today. And then if you would like to, you can make this a twist. You don't have to be folded all the way down to do this. You just bring your left arm across your right leg. If your right leg is not the one that's on top, you can switch that. Then bring your hands to heart center and twist. Good, coming back to center, we're going to switch legs, bringing your Legs back into fire log pose, so your heels and your knees stacked, lengthening your spine, and forward fold. If you stayed in crisscross applesauce, you can fold forward just like we did at the beginning of class, like rocking side to side. That's still a great stretch for your lower back and your hips. I like it a lot. Trying to make sure you're flexing your feet, especially whatever foot is on top. Flexing your feet in a lot of poses helps really protect your knee. Then coming back up to center. If you'd like to, bring your knees on top of each other, then your heels close in towards your hips, lengthening your spine and folding forward. Then if you would like to, making this a twist, bringing your right arm over your left leg, or the other way if your right leg's the one on top, pressing your hands together to go deeper into that twist. And coming back up to center, uncrossing your legs, bring them wide on your mat. Now we're going to stretch our inner thighs. Sitting up nice and tall. If you feel the stretch here, just hang out here. I used to just sit here the whole time. Really lengthening your spine and then folding forward as much as is comfortable to you. Making sure your feet are flexed and they're also going like towards the back of the room instead of your toes coming in towards the center. That's again really like helping your knees not get an injury. And then start to fold over your right leg. And then bringing your right arm inside of your right thigh, extend your left arm up towards the ceiling, stretching your inner thigh and your side body here. Coming back down to center and walking around to your left leg, first stretching over it with both hands. And then starting to bring that left arm inside of your left thigh. Your forearm can be on the ground or your palm can be on the ground. And then extend your right arm up towards the ceiling, really shooting energy out of your fingertips so that arm is nice and strong. Then coming back up to center, bring your knees together. And then you're just going to bring your feet and knees about hips width apart and windshield wiper your knees from side to side, releasing your lower back and your hips here. Coming back up to center, cross your ankles, coming back into tabletop, tucking your toes under and pressing back for downward facing dog. Then stepping that right foot forward to pigeon. So your right wrist and your right knee are connected. Really rolling your shoulders back first. Feeling that stretch more in your left hip flexor. And then when you're ready, you can start to fold as much as you want. Feeling that stretch more in your outer hip when you fold. Keep flexing that front right foot to protect your knee. I like to kind of stack my arms on top of each other and put my head down on my arms. When you're ready, pressing yourself back up to center, reach around with your right hand and just grab onto your left foot. If you can't reach it, you can just keep reaching around with that hand for a twist. And then releasing that bind, coming back to downward facing dog, just to switch sides, bringing that left foot forward, this time into pigeon. You can tuck your back toes under and scoot your leg back a little bit for a deeper stretch. Giving this side just as much time as the other side. When you're ready, you can start to fold forward if you would like to. Making sure that your front knee is a little bit outside of your hip line and your back leg is directly back from your hip. Holding here for one more breath in. Exhale it all out. Then pressing back up to center, reaching around, grabbing onto your right foot. And releasing that leg back, coming back to downward facing dog. Lifting that right leg up to three-legged dog and then bending your knee, opening up your hip, really pressing back here. Just feeling that nice stretch on your entire body. Switching sides, bring that right foot down, inhale your left foot up, then bend your knee, open up your hip, feeling that stretch. Bringing that foot back down, then coming down to tabletop, crossing your ankles and rolling back to a seat. Making sure that you have enough room to lie down, bring your hands to your sides, slowly one vertebrae at a time, coming down to your mat. We're going to do a tiny bit of core work here. So extend that right leg up towards the ceiling, lower it down to a hover and feel that engagement in your lower abs. Your back is connected to the ground. Inhale it up towards the ceiling. Exhale down to a hover. Good, keep going like that. Try to bring your leg high enough at the top that you feel a stretch in your hamstring a little bit. Let's do two more on this side. Then replacing that foot back down, inhale your left leg up, bring it down to a hover, then back up. Keep going at your own pace. Nice, slow and controlled movements here, really focusing on our lower abs. This also helps strengthen your hip flexors. Let's take three more. Last two. Last one. Good, replacing that knee down. We're going to do just 10 crunches. We're going to crunch up and touch our knees, then come back down. Good, only 9 left. Keep going. Six more. Try to exhale on the way up. Last 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good, bring your arms out to a T or like cactus arms if you don't have enough room. Bring your knees into your chest. Let your knees come to a hover on the right side. Use your obliques to pull them back up to center. Hover to the left side. Good, inhale, center. Exhale to that hover. Inhale up. Exhale, hover. Good. One more time on each side, going towards the right. Coming up to center. Going towards the left. Coming back up, leaving your arms where they are. crossing your right leg all the way over your left leg. You can even like interlace your foot with your leg. And then you're going to bring your hips, your knees all the way to the left side. So a spinal twist with that leg cross to make it a little more of a deeper stretch. Try to keep that right shoulder on the ground as much as you can. You can press your left hand into your thighs to help push your legs gently towards the ground. Then coming back up to center, this time crossing that left leg all the way over your right leg. Bring your knees into your chest and then letting them go over towards the right. You can press down on your legs if you would like to, opening that left arm out to the side, following it with your gaze. Holding here for one more breath in, one more breath out. Coming back up to center, uncrossing your legs, then bringing your hands to your knees, just taking your knees in little circles. This is really good for releasing your lower back. Then reverse the direction of your circles. Now coming into happy baby, bringing your hands to the outside edges of your feet. Your knees come in towards your body. Your feet are flexing towards your face. Trying to release your tailbone and your shoulders down to the ground. And then bringing your feet down to the mat with your feet together and your knees wide. Bring both hands to your lower belly. And on your inhales, try to press your hands up towards the ceiling like your belly is a balloon and it's inflating with your inhales. And on your exhales, let your hands sink a little closer towards the floor, releasing all your air out. Just breathing at your own pace. Let's take one more breath in. One more breath out. You can either stay here or start to extend your arms and your legs out on your mat, thanking yourself for making this time for your mind and your body today, knowing that you don't have to do or think about anything except relaxing in Shavasana. Slowly starting to deepen your breath, wiggling your fingers and your toes, stretching your arms over your head for one final full body stretch. And then hugging your knees into your chest, rocking side to side, giving yourself a big hug. Then rolling over onto your right side. When you're ready, pressing yourself up to a comfortable seat with your hands at heart center and your eyes closed. Thank you so much for coming and practicing with me today. The light in my heart honors and cherishes the light inside of each and every one of yours. Namaste. Thank you guys so much for coming to Yogalates. I hope you liked it. I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording now. So if you want to stay and talk or ask any questions, I'd love to talk to you.